I ran out of hard drive space on one of my hard drives, and my video stopped. Yeah. Oh, did I, Paul? Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. There will be trial and error. I have. And if you want to ask some questions right now of some different types of businesses um, to avoid, or if you're having some questions about a particular business, just put it out there now, and I'll let you know if I think it's a good idea. All right, can everyone see my screen? All right. Okay, good. How do I sell a complete website? Edgar, I'm not sure what you mean. Edgar asks, how do I sell a complete website and is $2,000 a fair price? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. Yeah, I mean, you could sell these websites for $2,000 if you can get it. Most businesses, just this for $2,000 might not necessarily be the driveway resurfacer. That might be another one of those businesses where they're very cash starved. Growing up, like I know a lot of kids, like high schoolers and college kids, would used to do a lot of driveway resurfacing. So that might be a business I wouldn't necessarily go with. It also might depend on the part of the country where you are. But like where I am, there aren't that many driveway resurfacers. Like even for just asphalt, there might be like 10 big ones. And that really isn't yeah, cleaning service cleaning service so long as you're in a big enough city with enough. Remember that magic number. I mean, like 30 is the minimum for as far as competing businesses would be the minimum amount of businesses I would want to, build a site for on spec. So long as in your area you have at least 30 different cleaning services and maid services, yeah, because that falls into the category of frequency. Every 2 weeks the maid's coming over. We buy gold or silver? Probably not, because there's probably not 30 businesses in your city. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, they're not cash starved, but the gypsies, they a lot of times they don't want to pay for things correctly. When almost all the site in a business. Yeah, okay, Kay. Kay's in Australia, and same with UK. If you are in Australia or the UK, you might want to get like a .com.au or a .com.uk type of address. Yeah, it does seem, especially UK and Australia. Yeah. No, just get a dot. Yeah. No, not necessarily K. I would say, you have plenty of cities out there. You have plenty of cities, and in Australia too. You also have some tourism, although not that we don't have tourism here, but so long as you have big enough cities out there, yeah. What do you make of remarketing to the U.S. from Australia? Well, you know, if you're going to be marketing in another country or from another country, the angle that you want to have is going to be more of, I'm a specialist in your type of business rather than I'm a specialist in these local types of businesses. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to approach it, and we're going to get to that just a little bit in Module 6, where we're going to talk about you can either go wide, meaning you're going to cover, all the different businesses that potentially would want your service in a particular city, and you're going to do a business for a restaurant and a pizza place and a roofer and a siding guy and a shingle or and a window guy, or you can go narrow where you're going to be a specialist. So if you are going to be marketing from another country, you might want to be more of like a specialist, like you help roofing contractors, or you help auto repair shops, or you help, small car dealers, that type of thing. Yeah, okay. Robert, yes, for sure. Robert says, would you recommend doing up a bunch of sites at one time so that you could create some real monthly income right off the bat? Yeah. I recommend you do as much as you can to begin with. I know, especially when people are just starting, I can promise you that if you set up 5 or 10 sites right off the bat, that you would have success quicker than someone who just started with one site. Because if you just start with one site, you're only, you could only make, $197 at a time. But if you can, create more than one site at a time, definitely do that. You'll get your recurring income up much quicker. Yeah. Okay, what was that? Here are a few niches that work well. Yeah, yeah, I would skip out the handyman though, Hal, of that list. Where did you get that list? That wasn't for me, was it? Like 6 sites and one business. Yeah, Carmen, we'll talk about that in just a second too. Mark, do you have a number of theme names for free that you could share? How? No, not really. Like for free themes, Gene or John, I'm sorry. Uh, I wouldn't use a free theme honestly. If you're gonna use a free theme right off the bat, just that stock theme that comes with WordPress. I would use the theme that I gave you. There was just a Warrior special offer on another local theme that I just grabbed. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't like. Yeah, Hal has a list that had like handyman on there, and then the glass repair. I honestly, I just don't like them because I had some bad luck with handyman. I built a couple of sites. I couldn't get them sold, and I determined that the reason that I couldn't get them sold was these guys were like, a lot of times a handyman is an out of work full timer who places an ad in the paper. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of professional handymen, but a lot of handymen are just, Chuck, I don't remember the name of it. I'll get that to you though. I don't, oh my gosh. How did you do that? That's so funny. We had a bunch of, I don't know if you saw that email I sent out, but that's fantastic. Sorry, I just got sidetracked as heck. I was looking through emails and I apologize. About how to sell before we have the website ready. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Will, the way that you do that is you use those other postcards. Okay, you take a screenshot or you just use one of the screenshots from those postcards, and you can just, as soon as you build the site, start marketing it out. And like I said, normally no one gets back to you on the first round of postcards. Usually, it does take 2 or 3. And if someone does call, say, oh, the site, it was on page 1, it just dropped down to page 3, it should be back up on page 1. Are you ready to get it? We just need to get your information. I'm going to be selling it, for $297 or $197. You could get it now for just $97. A lot of times by the time that because it's, especially now with the Google updates, it's going to take you about 2 weeks or so to get ranked. When you do the video though, when you do a video and you have those images, your site isn't ranked technically, but you've already got your images ranked on the first page. You're already, you know, your press release might already be on the first page, or your link at Craigslist might be on the first page. Yeah, the top 5 businesses just starting out would probably be, you know, roofing contractors, general contractors, hair salons, and I'll share with you guys why I like hair salons so much in just a few minutes. Hair salons, because they were so easy. There's a website out there, and I'll have to when we take a break in about 10 minutes, we'll take a 5-minute break, and I'll find this website, and it's like a lead magnet for hair salons. It's really good. It was one of the first types of services I ever sold to offline businesses. So roofing contractors, you know, general contractors, hair salons. I'm really liking auto repair service now because there are so many of them. And if you look, almost none of them have websites. The only website they're going to have is going to be like a yellow page website, which is basically, you know, just a page that says we do this, this, and this. It's not a website at all. Those would be my top 4. Those would definitely be my top 4. I've also done well with insurance agents, because the thing with insurance agents, there's a ton of insurance agents. Like, even in a city of 50,000, there's going to probably be, you know, 200 different insurance agents. Accountants are another one. Like financial planners, but I haven't dealt with them for quite some time. But insurance, yeah, first month free, meaning the $49 monthly charge. Yep. What do I think of realtors? Brittany, I've heard realtors are very hard to sell to. That's what I've heard about realtors. You could, and if you were going to go after real estate agents, you would want to just go after, you would just want to go after, what do you call it? Like listing agents. You'd want to go after listing agents. Yeah, Carmen, moving companies. Yeah, I had that site sold. I have Fort Lauderdale mover site sold, and it looks like it's a done deal. I'm waiting for information. Like, he had a video that he wanted to put on there, and I'm waiting for information. I got paid a deposit on that, which I just got. But yeah, moving companies. Make sure though, just do a quick search to make sure that there are some areas where all the moving companies are those big national chains. But if you're in a big enough city, I'd say probably over 100,000 or so, you should have enough local companies. Home health care people, yeah. Yeah, actually, home health care would be something, because there are a lot of those independent providers. Just once again, make sure that there is plenty of competing businesses. Like, that's one of the most important things about getting the site sold, is make sure that there's enough businesses. Because, you know, if you just have 10 different businesses to sell to, it might be very, very difficult to sell to just 10. Yeah, driving schools, right. There are some places where there are a ton of driving schools, right? Especially where there's points on licenses and like adults have to go to driving school. Yeah, right. Yeah, apartment movers in larger cities and also college cities. Okay. And you can also, okay, like different travel, yeah, different like recreational travel services. Yeah, so long as, like, if there are, as long as it's a big enough travel destination, that would be like an Orlando or, you know, a San Diego, things like that. Pawn shops, I would probably say no, because there's not enough competing business. I would generally say no to any type. In Brittany, that comes back to you too. I might say no to any type of business where they're paying out money to start with. You know what I mean by that, right, Brittany? So like a pawn shop, I'm not so sure about. Uh, Yeah, Brittany, that might be a little too narrow. It might not be though. You go to one of those used. Brittany has one for a type of business that there are a lot of those businesses, but her keywords are a little bit too. What's the domain for that, Brittany? House cleaning or maid services? Yeah, possibly, Chris. So long as no, Hal. The pawnbrokers. He was asking about selling the site to pawnbrokers. Yeah, yeah. So long as nursing assisted living homes, I'd probably say no, Paul. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of unless okay, wait a minute, let's back it up. Unless it's like a real there's some areas where you could even do trailer parks, believe it or not, because like in Florida and some communities where there's 30 or 40 different trailer parks in the town. And then also some people were asking about do you have any special no, John. Okay. Yeah. Okay, John is asking, and a lot of people have asked about the Google Places. The reason we're not doing anything with Google Places yet is because you can't have Google Places. You can't have one of these, spec type of websites set up because you don't have a real address for it. And you don't want to go into Google Places with a fake address. So once you have the client at this 197, yeah, our very first upsell should be, okay, let's get you to the top of Google Places. Because you just signed up with me. I already have all your information. You can charge a very small fee, $97, $47. Throw it in as a free bonus if you want to. But this course isn't about Google Places. We can't do Google Places until we have a real business on this site. Does everyone understand that? Yeah, HVAC is another good niche. Yeah, right. All your citations, you want to be listed in other local directories. Right, exactly. Good. Okay, I think let's throw out any more questions about let's just quickly go over some more questions. So we're going to assume now, because before we move on to module 6, where we're going to expand our empire, our one sale to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. Apartment rentals, yes, possibly, so long I could see apartment rentals doing very good in a the problem with another problem I have with real estate and apartment rentals is when you're dealing with those kind of niches, you're also running into so much national competition. Like you have all the big national rental websites out there. So that's just a niche that I haven't done with. Like if you have, say, an inn with some, if you have an inn, meaning a real estate agent or an apartment listing agent, something like that, I would say, yeah, go for it. But otherwise, I'd say maybe, hold off on those right about, until you've got a couple of easier sales, because real estate or rentals are going to be some of the hardest sites to get ranked on that first page, for sure. No, you can, Robert asked for HVAC. You can do it both ways. You can both spell out heating and air conditioning, like for a domain name, or you could do HVAC. Both would work. Churches, yeah, in the South, I'm not so sure. I'm honestly not so sure about churches. There's probably not going to be enough competition. And also, once again, that like a church isn't one of those. Make sure, when you're asking these questions, ask yourself, does this come in under either a high value, meaning a high dollar amount per transaction to the business, or repetitive business? And the church does, but it needs to be, You need to make sure that there's enough competition. Oh, Ruben, okay. Awesome. Oh. Ruben just showed me a couple of free premium themes that I'll send you an email tomorrow. I'll send everyone an email with that. He's got some cool looking premium free themes that look rather nice. Okay. So, all right, looks like we're all set. Oh, I've had success with spas and beauty salons. Yeah. Stay away from those big national chains, right? Like you're not going to sell to a Goodies or although, you know, I did transmission shop in like for speedy oil changes and they were like they were a large franchisee, I guess you would call them, of a national chain. And that worked. That worked. But yeah, you know, stay with those high dollar value or lots of turnover. Lots of turnover. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now, okay, is we're going to talk about how to expand, okay? And you really shouldn't be looking too much into this until you've at least, you know, got one site sold because this is stuff that is going to cost you some money. You know, it's going to cost you money to expand and or to really expand. It's not going to cost you too much money. Yeah, John, you want to go back to, it was webinar 3, or I'm sorry, it was webinar 2A, B, and C that had the how to build the WordPress site. Yeah, air conditioning is most searched. Okay, good. Yeah, I am going to tell you about hair salons. Just probably at about 10:15 or so. Okay, like I'm going to stop this video again then, take a 5-minute break, and I'm going to grab this website. It's neat about the car sales. Actually, yeah, would you like to hear about this right now? This was a easy way. Like, there's certain, all right, give me 2 minutes right here to open my browser and bring it over, okay? This was I decided I was gonna start making videos, like promotional videos, okay? And I said, what kind of businesses am I gonna market this to? And I ended up coming across a site that built websites for hair salons. And they were kind of cheesy websites, like very templated. I mean, it's not fair to say that they were cheesy. There's nothing wrong with a templated site, but they were basic, okay, and they were like a do-it-yourself service. Like the hair salon owner or manager, you know, would go in there and update the sites and add, you know, neat little bells and whistles. And I came across this site, and they actually listed all of their clients. They listed all of their clients with all of their contact information. So I was able to go in and I went to all these different hair salons. I picked a city, or I picked a state, okay, in a city, and I emailed out all these hair salon owners. And I said, hey, I'll create this neat little video for your website for only $149. And I sold a ton of these, absolute ton of them, like an unbelievable close rate. Like maybe I sold 10 of them on like 200 emails that I sent out. It was a crazy, absolute crazy amount. And they were priced between $79 and $149. Like I started them at $79, and then so many people got it right off the bat. I was like, I gotta raise the price if they're buying it that quickly at this low of a price. So now what we're going to talk about is expanding our local cash machine empire. Okay, and like I said, make sure we have at least a couple of sites up and running, at least at this point. Okay, if you were along the way, if you got stuck anywhere, like if you decide you're going to build a WordPress site but you can't figure out something about it, outsource it. You know, hire someone on Odesk, hire someone on Fiverr, hire someone at Freelancer. You can even hire us to set it up for you. But if you can't do something, make sure you get it done by an outsourcer or learn how to do it. Nothing, I mean, so many people started from zero, okay, and followed that video the other night from where I set up a WordPress site, and they've got their WordPress sites set up. You're not going to be a WordPress expert overnight by any means. I'm not a WordPress expert at all by any means. But you're a lot better at WordPress, chances are, than these businesses that we're going to be selling them to. Anything you can't do, just outsource it, okay? Now, you need to congratulate your site self if you have some sites up there, okay? If you've got a site sold yet, even better, okay? Yeah, Zirk is another place. Yeah. I want you to know, selling sites on spec, you don't have to always do that. And does everyone understand what I mean by that, by selling on spec? Selling on spec means I build a site before selling it, okay? It's like building a house on spec. A builder builds a house and then he puts it up for sale, okay? His potential market is anyone that's interested in buying a house. Our potential market is any of those types of businesses in that area that are looking for more customers. Okay? That's selling on spec. Once you've sold some sites and once you have actual clients, all right, you can start getting paid first and then doing the work. And you do that by using those postcards, just mailing to all the roofers in a county or all the roofers in a state or all the businesses in an area, simply emailing them or postcarding them saying, hey, I help business owners just like you get to the top of Google and get more customers. Are you interested? Yes, I am. You show them your sales material. You take that sales letter that I gave you, okay? And if you can't put it onto an HTML page or into WordPress to make it look pretty, pay someone on Fiverr $5 or get the Business Builder kit and just use that. It's already set up for you, all pretty looking, with an order button. You just need to put in your information. But you can, after you've sold some sites, you can start selling like that because you're going to start getting referrals, okay? Definitely get referrals. Every time you sell a site, say, excuse me, I know you're going to be happy with your site. Would you happen to know any other tradespeople that would be interested in getting more customers just like you? And so long as they're not people in their direct competition, they'll be more than happy to refer clients to you, refer prospects to you, especially if you offer them a discount. Hey, Bob, thanks so much, it's great to have you as a customer. I'm glad, we got the site. It's all customized for your business. Would you know anyone? Would you know if he's a roofer, would you know any siders? Would you know any, driveway guys or mason guys or plumbers or electricians that might also like to have new customers by being on the front page of Google? If you can recommend anyone, we'll give you, we'll give you a free month of service or something along those lines. We'll give you a discount, okay? And a lot of times just asking for a referral will get you one. Chris asked a good question. When we send out our email, our postcard, is our goal to get them to the site we built or get them to our sales page? It all depends what you're doing. If you've built a site and it's already on the first page, we want to get them to that site because on that site, that's where we're having our call to action. Like when you look at, Worcester Roofer, when they get to this site, they say, oh, hey, I'm a car shop in Worcester. I do want to get more new customers. I better give them a call, that kind of thing. You can send them right there. And a lot of times you can just add an order form right to here if you'd like. I have, my own website, so when they call me, because a lot of times I'll take a call, right? I don't mind talking to someone if they want to give me money. So I'll get them on the phone and find out. A lot of times, truthfully, a lot of times a business owner is going to prefer to mail you a check. As odd as that seems, they would prefer to mail you a check. But if they're not going to mail a check, I'll say, well, you can just go to my website at rooferwebsites.com and just order right from there, Bob. Okay. No, I use, yeah, Quicken is Quicken is good software. QuickBooks is another one that people use. There's all kinds of like online invoicing. PayPal, I run everything through PayPal, and PayPal's accounting software is quite good. Like it lets you export everything, it shows you everything, gives you a nice sales report. So I like PayPal's built-in features too. Okay. And what you do, you help business owners get more customers by featuring their business at the top of Google. When anyone asks you, hey, what do you do? Chris, what do you do? Oh, I help business owners get more customers by being featured at the top of Google. Okay? You can hand out business cards. I don't like regular business cards anymore. Like a regular business card you put in your wallet, I don't like. I'll give out a postcard, especially the Vistaprint postcard size. It's a little bit smaller than a standard postcard, and that's my postcard. Like that black postcard that you guys have in your marketing material, that was my postcard for so long. Yeah, QR codes work great. Yep. That's just something that I'm not using, but those work great for sure. Now, what I want to talk about here is going wide and going deep. Okay? Now, when you go deep, what I mean by that is you become either the guy or the girl in that industry or in those couple of different industries that gets businesses to the top of Google. And what I mean is, let's say you're going to specialize in roofers or car repair or movers, okay? All you do is you build websites for movers that get to the top of the search engines, okay? And that makes you a specialist. It really does. Because when you're explaining your services and when they're asking you questions about your services, you can always go, I helped out a mover just like you in Orlando, Mr. Tampa Bay mover. You know, I helped out someone just like you. And when it's a business just like theirs, they can really relate to it. Okay? That's how I'm going with my business now. Like I'm going deep. I'm going deep into the roofer. I'm because of all my different, businesses that I've dealt with. Roofers and auto repair, like I said, are one of my favorites. So I have this simple website set up for roofers, and what I am is I am the go-to guy for roofers. Okay? Someone comes here, they get a website for a roofer. Okay? You can do the same thing for your landscaping business can achieve explosive growth while other landscapers are struggling. Or your painting business can achieve explosive growth. That's what I mean by go deep. We are specializing in one area, one type of business, and we become a specialist. Okay? You really are. You're the guy who helps roofers. I helped a roofer just like you, in the next state over, a couple counties over. And it really does work, and I'm finding that customers are digging it. Like, all I do is I specialize in helping roofers. I know that, especially with roofers, I know that if I get a roofer a few jobs a year, okay, does everyone hear that? A few jobs a year, he's going to be more than happy and do business with me until I stop billing him. And that really is the truth. You don't need a lot, okay? And I know that roofers are just a great market because when I talk to, and when I say roofers, and just because I'm going after roofers, I want everyone in this room, if they want to go after roofers too, I want you guys to go after roofers as well, okay? Or go after whatever type of business. Like, if you've created, like a lot of people have said they've created 7 different sites, okay? If you have a bunch of, like, say you create a roofer site and a car repair and a hair salon, and you put them out there, whatever one sells first, decide, hey, I'm going to be a specialist in that. Well, not necessarily, don't do that necessarily, but choose the business if you do want to specialize, because you don't have to specialize, but I'm finding specializing is going to help my business because I'm the guy who helps other roofers just like them. Okay? Now, the other way you can go is you go wide. And what that is you become the guy or girl in that area, okay, that gets businesses to the top of Google. You're the guy in Worcester that gets business owners to the very top of Google, okay? It's the same principle, except we're going to help mainly all the different types of businesses that qualify for our criteria. Now, I'm not saying go do retail businesses. You want to make sure you're only doing businesses that meet our criteria. And by that, I mean, have a high dollar volume or a lot of repeat customers. Yeah. And you're going to target many different types of businesses. One good thing about this, and sorry about that, I got my mouse on scroll and it's very sensitive. Let me turn that off. Most nights that's been off, and tonight it isn't, and it's driving me nuts. Sure, it's driving you guys nuts too. Okay. All right. Good thing about when you're doing local, when you're going wide into a market, it's very easy to get referrals. Okay? It's very easy to get referrals because you just sold, let's say you sold the pizza guy. Okay? That pizza guy is going to know, hey, do you know any other business owners in the area that would like to get more customers from being on the top of Google? Yeah? Well, if you do, if you can give me 5 leads, or, if anyone gets a site from me, I'll give you a month off. I'll give you 2 months off. I'll give you, half a year free if you want to. Something like that. Yeah, you can have, well, no, John, John, I'll get to your question in a little bit, okay? John has a question about the pricing and with buttons. Yeah, I like pizza too. Pizza is delicious. Going wide is good because you can become the go-to person in that area. And I don't work with chambers of commerce or any different business groups. But if you decide, if you're the type of person that likes to get out there and talk to people, you could become the rainmaker in your area of getting people to the top of Google. And you'd be known as that person. I have a couple of friends who do this, full time. They don't do the exact same service, but they provide internet marketing services to local businesses in their area. And that's all that they do. And they go and they speak at events. I have one friend who actually even hosts classes. Those adult education classes, he actually teaches a class, and the class is like how to get your business on the top of Google. And what he does is he just says different ways that they can use Google's tools, like the Google Map service, and he teaches a class on that. People take that class and they say, hey, you know what, this sounds great, I just don't have the time for it, and then they hire him for his services. You yourself could do something like that if you wanted to. I'm not saying that's what I'm teaching, but when you do go local, you have a lot of different options. In a large metro market, you should... Ooh, Robert, I'll have to get back to you on that question. Tire business, Jack, tire business, I'd say no. Because once again, tire falls into that retail category. Yeah, generally I would say no to a tire business. A tire business is also going to have, a lot of national competition, so I would avoid that. Okay, so does everyone understand that? You have a couple of different choices. You can go deep or you can go wide, okay? And you shouldn't do both. Like, if you decide that you're going to go deep, what that allows you to do is when you're putting together leads, like you can have an outsourcer or a list company, or even collect the list yourself. You're going to be getting bigger lists. Like, you're going to be getting all the roofers that are in, a certain state, or that are in all the big cities in that state. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Brittany, I thought I did. I thought I said it might be under. Brittany, I'm sorry. That domain name might be too narrow. Um, but like I said, Brittany's asking about dealing with car dealers because car dealers are a good one. You know, if you can find those type of car dealers that specializes in those type of cars, Brittany, it might be a good market, but you might not have enough competition. That's the only thing. Yeah. Okay, good. So everyone understands that, right? Either go deep or go wide. Either say, hey, I'm going to specialize in these types of businesses, or, yeah. Right. Craig has it good. He's going to be the Pizza Health Club massage salon service type of guy. Right. Or, you know, and that's true, you know, specialize in a couple of different businesses. Like I also have a website just for contractors. And with that, I can take all kinds of different contractors. You know, it's marketed to contractors, but I can sell to a roofing contractor, a painting contractor, a landscape contractor. So either go deep or go wide, okay? And to really expand, you're going to have to get some help, okay? More than likely, you don't necessarily have to get some help because there's no reason that anyone couldn't, say, devote, let's say, 3 to 6 hours a week and be able to put together 3 sites per week. You know, almost anyone could do that on their own. And in a few months, you'd have a full-time income. So hopefully, if you already have if you already have a job that you're looking to not be tied to forever, you know, you could easily turn this into your own full-time job. You know, this could easily become a full-time job. Yeah, Ruben, that's a fantastic goal. And that's where my goal is right now for these sites. That's exactly what my goal is for right now. That is a lot of money right there. Yeah, 3 to 5 a day, that's a lot of work, but with a couple of good people helping you, there's no reason you couldn't do it. So let's talk about the different outsourcing places. And we talked about it a little bit the other day. You got Fiverr, okay? And I want to tell you some of the things that Fiverr is good for, okay? You remember from the other night. Everyone remembers Fiverr from the other night, right? I'm sure everyone remembers Fiverr from the other night. But what Fiverr is good for is those quick little jobs, okay? Like getting some banners made up or getting a bunch of different banners made up, getting some quick videos made up. Like when we do our quick review style of videos, you might want to have someone do them on Fiverr for you if you don't have the equipment to do it right now or you just don't have the time or even the desire. Like, why not just have someone else? Like when I showed you that video the other night for Worcester Car Repair, right? You know, I'm just going through, this is Worcester Car Repair, we offer car repair services, you know, and we just go through the website and talk about what's on there, okay? But Fiverr's a great place to have things like that done. Fiverr's great to have little graphics made up, okay? Fiverr is excellent, absolutely excellent, to just install WordPress. Like, you get your hosting account, and, you know, you give that hosting information to the guy on Fiverr, the guy installs WordPress for you, bing, bang, boom, $5 later, your website's set up. Or at least the shell of your website, you know. Freelancer is for more of those bigger jobs, okay, where like on Fiverr they're quick jobs, they're little $5 jobs, but at Freelancer you can get jobs ranging from $30 and up. $30 is pretty much the lowest job that you can get done at Freelancer, but for that $30 you might be able to get, you know, a website installed and banners made and maybe even the content put in there. But Freelancer is also really good for sales and telemarketing help. We'll just go over to Freelancer again. Like when you go to Freelancer, you know, we can browse their categories and see all the different categories that are here. And Freelancer is one of the best of the outsourcing sites to find sales and marketing help. You know, you can find help for all kinds of different things. These are some of the different jobs that are posted, but you can see there's 115 telemarketing jobs. There's sales, straight up sales jobs, leads. So you can get lots of marketing help and lots of sales help right from Freelancer. That's what I use Freelancer for. I also use Freelancer for data mining, where I say, okay, and that actually, I meant to give you guys that template. I'll get those templates out to you tomorrow for the different job postings. I apologize. This week's been crazy. But Freelancer, great place to get sales and marketing help. Like, you can see, we'll just go ahead and look in these telemarketing jobs. You can get an idea of these are all jobs that people have posted. Okay, you know, you can see people are taking like commission jobs. Don't get scared by these prices. A lot of these times that these prices are for like an ongoing service. But you can get telemarketers, you can hire call centers, all kinds of things. Okay, you can have just lead callers. You could have people do data mining. Like if we go up here, they have a data mining section, writing and content. You know, any different types of, like, you're eventually going to need to fill this site. Like I did it very quickly the other night. But we're going to want to fill this site with some sort of content eventually, right? And if you can't type up all this stuff, you can go hire a writer for maybe $5. It wouldn't be very much. SiteMaker. No, I didn't see that, Chuck. Send me over that link, would ya? Craig, what? I'm not sure what you mean, Craig. But I like, you know, Freelancer. Just look at anything that you can imagine that you need done, you could get done from Freelancer. Okay, and they're very good. You're protected. They have an escrow service where you don't actually pay. You don't actually. Good night, Marcy. I'll send you the link tomorrow. All kinds of different services. Okay, so anything that you can't do, there's someone out here just waiting to do it for you. Okay, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. And so long as you realize, you know, it's all right to spend money. It's all right to spend money if you can't build these sites. It's all right to spend money to get the site made. It definitely is all right to do that. And we haven't gone into much of the sales aspect, like hiring salespeople, just because at this price point, it's kind of tough to hire a salesperson. You certainly could do it. I've just had such horrible luck hiring salespeople. And at this low of a price point, you almost don't need a salesperson. If you had a salesperson, you could certainly, you know, grow faster, that's for sure. If you were at a different price point, you could bring in a salesperson. But Freelancer is great for jobs that are a little bit too big for Fiverr. And then the last one would probably be, or the last of the part-time help kind of situation, or one-off jobs. All these, I'm sorry for not making this clearer. Fiverr, Freelancer, and Odesk. These are for like one-off jobs where you're hiring someone for a specific task. It might be to call 50 different, you know, leads for you, or it might be to data mine, you know, 100 different businesses for you. But they're one-off jobs. Same with Odesk. Odesk going to be a little bit higher quality. You might pay a little bit more, and Odesk is mainly technical help. Like I said, I don't really use Odesk all that much. It's mainly for technical help, but you just go in there. They have very good workers. You're protected once again by an escrow system where if the work is no good, they'll go ahead and, you know, get you your money back. So you're protected when you use a big service like this. The other service that's worth making note of would be like 123 Employee. Okay, and I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this, and this is not something that I'm recommending right now at all. You know, I'm not an affiliate of them or anyone, but with 123 Employee, you can hire full-time or part-time workers. Like for 40 hours a month, 10 hours a week, you can get someone for $347. And let me tell you, I have a virtual assistant that I pay, several $100s a month, and she basically does a little bit of everything for me. Okay? And when you start getting business, when you start doing business, you're definitely gonna want to bring in some help, like a virtual assistant, someone who can handle tasks that you can't do. And this site, though, 123 Employee, recommend you check it out once you start making sales. Okay, that's very important. Once you start making sales. Yeah, you could. Yeah, Ed, that's a good point. You could certainly hire a salesman. Hire a salesman at 100% commission, right? Without a big deal. 100% commission, and then you'd be the one collecting all the residuals. So, yeah, you gave out, you didn't make any money at first, but in the next month you'll start. You'll start. Craig, once again, I'm not quite sure who you mean. Send me an email, why don't you? Yeah, and Google does love new content. Yeah, they do. Do you ever make additional sites? Yeah, you will make additional posts every now and then, especially if you see that your site is falling in rankings. Like I said, though, before, sites without any changes at all have been, listed on that first page forever. In a local market, it's just a different animal compared to regular search engine optimization on a nationwide or an international basis. When you're talking local search, I mean, unless someone out there is like us, an offline marketer, these businesses, like you can see when we go to, any of these salon websites, they're labeled homepage. There's no search engine optimization. So just, that on-page search engine optimization that we're doing is just, it's going to get you to the top of Google. It is. It definitely is. Thanks, Chuck. I'm going to check that out. That looks good. Do you hire from 123? No, Carmen. I don't hire, no. 123, like you would want to hire someone from 123 once you've got your business going, okay? And you could hire someone from 123. Now, employees that come from 123, like they're versed in search engine optimization. So you could hire someone from 123 Employee if you wanted to, and all their job would be is to, go ahead and monitor all your different sites. That could be a job that they do. I have mine do some email and customer service for different websites that I have. Everyone that bought this, though, is getting me personally, but I do have a virtual assistant that on other different websites that I own, where all my virtual assistant does really is handle customer service and answer emails and not monitor stuff, but just make sure everything is running properly. Like I have some businesses, or micro businesses, mini businesses. They're not full-on businesses, but they're pretty much run by the virtual assistant. Yeah, okay. Robert, you asked a good site. If I'm cloning a site, yeah, I would change, because on page, Robert asked a good question. When you're cloning sites, do you change any of the content before the customization? Does the domain name and on-page SEO take care of the ranking? Yes and no. You do change some of the content, like the content that's in the pages themselves. Like I just changed the city name generally, because if you look at this right here, like when I built this site here, it was originally set up for Bridgeport, and all I did was change out Worcester for Bridgeport, or Bridgeport for Worcester. B, there's a couple of different ways to clone a site. I think he just means a couple of different ways to clone a site. You can have software that'll clone a site for you. You can also like do a search on WordPress, cloning or how to make a duplicate of my site. Like I use WP Twin, it's called. And what it allows me to do is allows me to clone sites in just a second. And it makes a perfect clone of the site. And then I